feet underneath the hips, standing tall. And we're gonna think a bit about the tripod of the foot here. So thinking about pushing into the big toe ball, pinky toe ball, and the center of the heel. And as you press down through those 3 points on each foot, we're lifting the inner arches of the feet, lifting gently through the inner thighs, pelvic floor, and abdominals. And then from there, we're gonna take big arm circles, reach forward and up, back behind you and down. So a big yawn for the shoulders. Rooting down through those 3 points on each foot, lift through the top of the head. One more circle in this direction. And then reverse it, reaching back behind you and up. Energy through the fingers, through the palms, kind of splaying the hands a little bit. One more time. Root down through the tripod of the foot, lift through the arches and up through the crown of the head. And let's take your arms out to the sides, out to a T. We're gonna rotate one palm backward, one palm forward, and then switch. So we're twisting the arms in opposite directions, twisting the wrists, forearms, and especially the upper arms. And one shoulder will probably move back, one shoulder will probably move forward. You can even add a little bit of spinal rotation, a little bit of twist of the sternum. Equal weight on both feet. Let's do 3 more on each side. You're welcome to add a head turn, looking toward the palm that's up. And back to center and let the arms come down. Feel free to hold on to something for this. We're gonna slowly lift your heels up. So we're pressing in just at 2 points of the foot and then lower down. Pressing down through the big toe ball and pinky toe ball as you lift the heels and lower with control. Try and have all your toes in contact with the floor. 3 more. And we'll come back down. All right, you can do this with or without some weights. We're gonna take the feet about sit-bone distance apart, so maybe just a little bit wider, parallel legs. Again, thinking about that tripod of the foot, big toe ball, pinky toe ball, and the heel. And we're gonna take a few squats here, folding at the hips and knees, letting the arms just hang, or you can have hands on your hips if you like, and then standing up. So trying to keep that even weight through all 3 points of the foot as you bend and stand. Keeping the back straight. Fold at the hips and knees. It's a deeper bend in your hips than in your knees. And this time we'll squat and hold it. Again, connect to that tripod of the foot and we'll scissor the arms. One arm backward, one arm forward, lower and switch. Waking up the back muscles to move your arms. Elongate your spine on this angle. Gently pull your abdominals in, lower ribs pull in. Just start to shift more weight onto one leg. Hold that weight on this leg for a bit. And then we'll switch, more weight on the other leg. Just feeling what that is like. And now equal weight on both legs. 3 and 2 and 1. Arms down. Let's pull your elbows up behind your ribs and then lower. So kind of a rowing motion. Squeeze your elbows up behind you and back down. Pulling the hands up toward the waist. Still pressing into the tripod of the feet, lifting the arches, lifting the abdominal wall. Let's lift the elbows and hold, and now we'll tricep press. Straighten back and then bend. So we keep those elbows up high. Collarbones wide. 4 more. And we'll stand all the way up. Let's take the feet out wide, wide parallel. And we'll take a little twist. Let your arms swing and sway. Relax the shoulders. And back to center. Let's bring those weights just against your hips, or you can bring your hands to your hips if you're not holding weights. And we'll take some hip circles, yawning through the hip joints. Reverse. And back to center. Let's step the feet back in. Arms down by your sides. Let's turn the palms forward. Little squeeze in the scapula, the shoulder blades, and we're gonna pull the arms back behind you and down with control. So just a small range of movement, back and then down. Make sure the shoulders don't come forward as your arms go back, but keep the shoulders back the whole time. Option to do this standing on one leg. Straight arms back, straight arms down. And if you're standing on one leg, we'll switch. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Pull the shoulders and the arms back together, using the back muscles. Three, two, and one. All right, let's step the feet out wide again. We'll find some external rotation now. Heels turn in, toes turn out. Bring the ends of your weights together. Just the arms here, we're gonna lift up to the chin and lower down. You could do this with one weight as well if you wanted to go lighter. Holding both hands on one weight or a weight in each hand. And now we'll add the squat. So just coming down into that sumo squat, lower, and then lift and stand as you bring the weights up. Maybe you tap the weights to the floor, maybe not. And again, think about that tripod of the foot. Big toe ball, pinky toe ball, and the heel. Lifting the inner arch of the foot. Three more. Squat down one more time. How low is up to you. We'll turn the palms in and now open your arms out to the sides and down. Squeeze the shoulder blades, open the chest. Good. Four more. Maybe sit a little deeper. 3, 2, 1, and stand up. Let's set those weights off to the side. We'll stay in a wide stance, but this time wide parallel. And hands on your hips, let's tip side to side. Waking up the outer hip muscles, cinching through the waist, through the abdominals. We'll keep going side to side, but we're gonna do this in external rotation. So knees and toes point out, heels point in. Just a little bit different muscular work here. One more each side. And then we'll do internal rotation. Trying to turn the knees and toes in. It's okay if they look more parallel. And we'll come back to parallel, a few more on each side. And now we'll find our balance on one leg. All right, keeping your pelvis stable, we'll rotate the free leg, external and internal rotation, working from the top of the thigh. So it's a pretty small movement. Twisting your femur, your thigh bone within your hip socket. Let's do external rotation, so your knee points up, little circles here. Stabilize your pelvis. Reverse. Again, we can think about that tripod on the standing foot, that root of support. Internal rotation of the free leg, little circles with this. Reverse. Back to parallel, and we'll switch to the other side. Find your balance on the new leg, and we'll twist. External and internal rotation of your thigh bone within your hip socket. Stabilize the pelvis. External rotation, so we'll turn the knee and toes out, little circles at the hip, at the thigh. Rooting down through the standing foot, through the 3 points of your tripod. Reverse. And now internal rotation, little circles here. Reverse. And back to parallel. We'll stand on 2 feet, bend your knees. You can have your knees on your thighs or somewhere else, and you're just gonna sway your hips side to side, stretching out some of those muscles that we just worked. Okay, and we'll stand back up. Let's use the weights if we can. All right, we're gonna take a long stance here, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Okay. All right, we're gonna do some bicep curls with the arms, and at the same time, we're gonna lift the back heel. So we'll do a little calf raise of the back heel. So both knees are straight. Your weight will shift forward as you lift the heel. Your weight will shift back as you lower. Two more here. Same thing in the arms. This time, we're gonna keep the back heel down. We're gonna flex the front foot and lower. Same bicep curls. Pressing down through that heel point to lift the rest of the foot. Draw up through your pelvic floor and abdominals. Three more. Okay, let's lift the back heel up, front toes are down, and we're gonna take the weights just above your shoulders, and we're gonna lift the weights up and bend. Let's do one more with the arms. All right, now we're gonna bend both knees, come straight down, and then straighten both knees. And we'll add those together. So arms and legs moving together, but whatever rhythm or pattern makes sense for your brain. Equal weight in both legs. Spine vertical if you can. Two more. Let's squat down one more time. So both legs bent. Now we're gonna tilt the spine forward. Take the arms behind you. One more set of tricep press. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Equal weight on both legs. 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll release and shake that out. Shake out the arms, shake out the legs for a moment. Okay, and then let's switch. Other foot forward, other foot back. Okay, toes and hips and shoulders squared forward, starting with those bicep curls and the calf raise on that leg behind you. Lift and lower your heel, and lift and lower the weights. Both knees stay straight. If you want more intensity, you can take a longer stance, moving the feet away from each other, or less intensity, you can shorten up your stance. 3 more here. Good. We'll lower that heel down and now flex the front foot. Same bicep curls with the arms. Lift through your pelvic floor and abdominals for additional support. Three more. Lower that front foot back down, lift the back heel, take those weights just above the shoulders, and whatever rhythm you want to do, bending both knees, straightening and bending the arms. Try and keep the spine vertical, equal weight in both legs. Three more. Squat down, tilt your spine forward, take the arms behind you, tricep press here, bend, press back, open the chest, equal weight in both legs. 8, 7, 6, 3, 2, and 1, and we'll stand up, shake it out. Let's let those weights off to the side and we'll move to sitting. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of work with a little more work with the feet. So we'll have the legs straight out. Hands can be behind you if you want to support yourself back here, or you can be more upright, whatever's more comfortable for you. Okay, so we're gonna flex and point the feet. We'll dorsiflex, pull the toes and ankles back, and then plantar flex, curling the toes forward and down. Moving at the ankle, foot and toes. One more of each. Okay, so let's go into dorsiflexion. So that's this direction. We're gonna keep our ankles like this, and we're gonna move just the toes. You're gonna curl your toes down and lift the toes up. Curl the toes down and lift the toes up or back. Trying to stabilize that ankle. Articulating the toes. Two more. All right, lengthen the top of the ankle, pointing the feet or plantar flexion. Let's keep the ankles like this, toes up and toes curl down. How much can you move the toes without moving the ankle? Good. Two more. All right, curl those toes down. Now, adding this all together for a wave-like motion, we're gonna take the knuckles of the toes back, keeping the toes pointed down. So we're scrunching up the foot. Now lift the toes up and press the ball of the foot forward. Toes stay pointed back, and then curl the toes down. Pull the knuckles back, then lift the toes. Keep the toes back as the balls of the feet press forward, lengthen the top of the ankle, and then curl the toes down. Keep those toes pointing down as you dorsiflex the ankle, then lift the toes, plantar flex the ankle, curl the toes down, and find that wave-like motion. This is really good work for our feet, for the arches of our feet. One more time, pulling the knuckles back, then the toes lift, knuckles forward, and then the toes down. Now let's reverse that, leading from the toes. So the toes lift, and the toes pull the ankle back. Then the toes curl down first, and then they reach out and forward. Toes pull back and flex. Toes curl down, and then extend out into that point. Leading from the toes. Okay, so let's plantar flex the feet. So we're gonna point the feet, curl those toes down. So we're gonna try and move in opposition. So we're gonna leave one set of toes pointed down, take the other toes up, and then we'll flex at the ankle, switch the toes, and then plantar flex the ankle. So see if you can go in opposite directions. So toes are pointing in opposite directions, and the ankles move together. It's a really hard brain challenge. And then of course, let's try to reverse that. And if you're not sure, just pretend. Last one. All right, let's take some big circles of the ankles and toes and feet just to rinse that off. And then reverse. Okay, let's bend the knees now. Hands behind the thighs, sitting tall, press your feet into the floor, and we're gonna hinge back. Collarbones wide, and exhale, lift up to vertical. Leaning back, breathe in. Squeeze the legs together, press your feet down, exhale, lift to come forward. Option to reach forward. Keeping the back straight. Inhale back. Exhale, lift. This time we'll hinge back and hold. You're welcome to grab one leg with your hands if you like. We're gonna slide the right leg out and then bend the right leg in and then extend the left leg out. So we're sliding the feet along the floor, sliding the heel along the floor. Extend the right leg out. Let's keep the right leg straight. We're gonna do a little lift and lower of that leg. Shoulders back, collarbones wide. And let's switch legs. Slide out the left leg, up and down. Doesn't need to be very high. 3, 2, 1. And we'll bend the knees, grab your legs and sit up. Okay, let's actually take the hands behind you now. Step your feet out wide, knees bent. We'll take both knees to one side and then both knees to the other side. Rinsing out the legs, the hips, the spine. Last one each side. All right, let's find a Z sit on one side. So we'll tuck one leg back, one foot up in front of you. We'll point the back foot. We'll take a hand to the floor, other hand to your hip, and we're gonna roll the top hip forward, back, forward and back. We're gonna take your palm down if it's not already, and then we're gonna lift your pelvis up, pressing the hips forward, and then lower the hips down with control, starting to load that arm up as you lift the hips forward, and then lower. You might even get a stretch for one of your hip flexors. Pressing down through both legs. 3 more. And last one. All right, we're gonna come down to your forearm, down to your elbow, and we'll extend the top leg out. So we have this long line from your head out through your foot, navel to spine. We'll do a little up and down, lift and lower. Keep the hips squared forward, make sure that top hip isn't rolling back. And keep lifting through your side obliques so you're not dumping into that shoulder, but lifting up. Let's hold the top leg up, little circles, small enough that you can stabilize your pelvis and spine. Reverse. And now we'll hold this leg up. You're gonna take your leg forward. How far is up to your leg? And then backward. So just exploring how far you can go, keeping the spine and pelvis stable. 2 more. And let's bend that knee. We'll come back into our Z-sit. We're gonna come up to your hand now. Okay, so we'll keep this leg bent and you're gonna lift that whole leg up and down, lifting the knee and the foot. For more challenge, you can take that hand off the floor. Draw your abs in. 3, 2, lift, take that leg forward and we'll switch sides. All right, finding your Z-sit, point the foot behind you. One hand to the floor, one hand to your hip. We'll roll your hip forward and back. Just exploring your range of motion here. Two more. All right, we're gonna bring that palm down, press into your palm, press into the shins, and lift your pelvis. Lower the pelvis down. So we're driving the pelvis forward and down. You might feel a stretch in one of the legs or not. That's also fine. Squeezing through the obliques for support. 3 more. And 1 more. Lower down, we'll come down to your forearm or your elbow and extend the top leg out. So we have a long line from your head to your foot, navel to spine, a little up and down of that leg. Lift up out of the supporting arm, out of the supporting shoulder, so that you're not dumping. Hold that leg up, little circles. Small enough that you can stabilize your pelvis, your spine, your ribs and shoulders. Reverse. And we'll hold this leg up, forward and back. Take that leg forward and back, exploring how far you can go without moving the spine or pelvis. Keep lifting up through the ribs. 3, 2, and 1. And we'll bend that knee. Coming back to your Z-sit, push yourself up onto your hand. Okay, now lifting that whole leg up and down. You can have one hand on the floor or both hands off the floor. Lifting your knee, your shin and foot. 3 more. One extra, lift up, and now take that leg forward, and we'll sit on both sits bones. Legs can be however is comfortable for you. Let's grab the weights, and we'll do some rotation of the arms. Elbows at your waist, palms facing up, little squeeze in the shoulder blades, and we'll rotate the arms out, in and forward. Stabilize your shoulder blades. An option to add a head turn, little stretch of your neck. 3, 2, and 1. All right, head stays center, rotate the arms out again. This time we'll turn the palms backwards, so we're twisting the forearms a bit. And now take your arms out, almost straight but not quite, and then pull your elbows back in. Reach those knuckles out to the side walls and pull your elbows in. 3 more. Elbows forward, palms back. Last one. Okay, with or without the weights, we'll take our elbows up to shoulder height, 90-degree bend in the arms. We're gonna take the arms forward and touch, and then out and back. Forward, touch the arms together or the weights together, and then as you come back, touch the shoulder blades together, or try. Two more. Let's take those weights up, bring the weights together, and we'll bend behind your head and lift up. A little more tricep work here. Feel free to adjust your legs at any time. Last 6. Connect to your abdominals, lengthen through the top of your head. 3, 2, and 1. And we'll set those weights off to the side. All right, let's lay down on your back. Okay, and we'll straighten the legs down on the floor. All right, think about where your pubic bone is in relationship to your belly button. Try and relax your legs, relax your back, relax your shoulders. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, draw your pubic bone toward your belly button. Little tiny pelvic tuck, and then inhale, release. And then again, exhale, pubic bone to navel. Without using your legs, without using your glutes, just using the lower abs. Inhale to let it go. So we're drawing the front of your pelvis up toward the lower ribs in the front, and then release. Lengthening the lower back as we contract through the front. Keep trying to relax the legs, relax the shoulders and glutes. And that movement might be microscopic, as long as you're just using your abs for it. 3 more. This time, draw your pubic bone to your navel and hold it here. Keep contracting those lower abs. Keep breathing, lengthen through the lower back. Another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Deepen the abdominals. 3, 2, 1, and release. Okay, we're gonna flip over onto your belly. Okay, we're gonna do the same exercise from here. So we'll stack the palms, rest your forehead on your hands. All right, so again, keeping the legs relaxed. Think about your pubic bone here, think about your belly button. All right, we're gonna slide your pubic bone up toward your belly button, and your belly button should lift slightly, maybe not off the floor, but in that direction, and then release. And again, draw your pubic bone up toward your navel. We're lengthening the lower back, contracting the lower abs, and then let it go. And just keep finding that engagement and then releasing it. Three more. And this time we'll hold. So draw your pubic bone toward your navel, lift your navel up, lengthen the lower back. And now we'll try and maintain this position, this engagement the whole time as we do some leg movement. Walk the legs just a little closer together. Keep driving pubic bone down, navel up, and we'll keep the legs straight. You're gonna float your right leg up, lifting from the top of the thigh, and then lower down. And switch, lift the top of the thigh to lift the whole leg, and lower, meaning we're not bending the knee to lift. Lifting the whole leg up. Keep drawing pubic bone to navel. Stabilizing the lower back and pelvis as we move one leg at a time. Depending on the flexibility at the front of your thigh, the front of your hip, you might have more range of motion or less than what I have. Working from the glute to lift your leg, the upper hamstring to lift your leg, and keep lifting through the belly button, long lower back. Let's do both legs now. Both legs lift Both legs lower. Both legs lift. Both legs lower. 3, 2, lift and hold. Clap the legs together for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Relax completely. Gently wiggle the hips side to side just to release that tension in the hips and back. Okay, let's take your arms out to a T, out to the sides. Float your forehead about an inch or two off the floor. And again, we'll find that abdominal engagement. Draw your pubic bone to your navel, lengthen the lower back, and we'll keep the legs down. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift your arms up now. How high can you lift your arms up away from the floor? And then lower down, just barely tap your hands to the floor. So up and down, exhale, lift your arms. Inhale, lower. Keep the chest still. So we're not lifting the chest, we're just lifting those arms. Keep drawing pubic bone to navel, lengthen through your lower back. A lot of work in a lot of different places. Stay long through the back of your neck, so you might tuck your chin a little bit. 4 more. And we'll come down and rest completely. Again, you can wiggle your hips side to side to release the tension in your back or hips. Take a few deep breaths into your lower back. All right, let's find that abdominal engagement again. Arms out to the sides, float your forehead an inch or two off the floor, pubic bone to navel. Now we're gonna squeeze the shoulder blades, lift your arms and lift your legs up. Now we're gonna squeeze those legs together. You're gonna hold the legs lifted and squeezing, keep drawing the navel up. So the legs are just gonna stay here. We're gonna windmill the arms. You're gonna take one arm forward, one arm backward, and then windmill out to the sides and then switch. So one arm goes forward, one arm goes back, and then we switch. Keep squeezing and lifting the legs, keep lifting the abdominals, lengthen your lower back and the back of your neck. Breathing however makes sense to you. So lots of things are working now. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Completely rest. You can hang out here or come to a child's pose or whatever stretching feels good to you. All right, we're gonna be on our forearms and our knees for this one. So knees underneath the hips are pretty close together, and we can let the head hang here to relax the neck. All right, little lift through the abdominal wall to help stabilize the spine and pelvis. Okay, we're gonna keep the right knee bent. We're gonna lift that knee up behind you, and then lower down, tap your knee to the mat. Again, lift straight up behind you. How high can you lift? And then lower with control. One more. And back down. Same leg. We're going to take this leg out to the side now, dog at a fire hydrant, and back down. Your pelvis should rotate. So as that knee comes out to the side, your right hip will lift to create more space. Otherwise, it feels a little pinchy. Squeeze through your obliques. 2 more here. Okay, let's add this all together. We're gonna take that knee back behind you, then lift your knee out to the side, dog at a fire hydrant, and then lower down, tap the mat. Again, straight back behind you, open out to the side, lower down, hips square down. Back, up and to the side, And down, one more. And we'll reverse up to the side. Back behind you, square the hips down, lift that knee up, and then lower, tap your knee. So open the knee, the pelvis rotates. As the knee comes behind you, we want to point that hip down and then lower. Side, knee goes back, hip points down, and knee comes down. One more. Okay, sit back toward a child's pose or take any stretch that feels good to you. We'll rest that hip for a moment. All right, setting up for the other side. Knees together, elbows under your shoulders, and you can let the head hang if you'd like. We'll keep the left knee bent as we take that knee up behind you, straight up as high as you can, and then lower, tap the floor. Again, just repeating that. Up behind you and down. So getting more of that hip extension, opening through the front of the hip, working through the back of the hip. Squeeze your abdominals to help stabilize the spine and pelvis. 2 more. And now we'll go to the side, dog at a fire hydrant. Lift that hip, rotate, and then lower down. As your leg opens to the side, your pelvis will rotate, so we get a little bit of oblique work. How high can you lift that knee to the side? 2 more. Lower down. Adding this all together, take that knee back first, up, back, behind you, then out to the side, lift that knee up and lower down. Straight back, lift the knee way up, open out to the side and lower. Knee back, up and side, down. 1 more. Reverse, knee out to the side. Take that knee back, square the hips down, lift the knee higher, then lower. Out to the side, knee goes back, lift that knee, and lower down. So big, slow circle, out, up and back, and down. 1 more, last one. All right, sit back for your child's pose, little stretch of those hips. Okay, let's take the hands out wide. So hands wider than your shoulders. Middle finger points forward, spread the fingers apart. All right, we're gonna aim the chest down between your thumbs. You're gonna bend your elbows out to the side walls, lower the chest straight down between the thumbs and push up. And again, bend and push up. Straighten the right leg back behind you. Same thing. Lower the chest between your thumbs, elbows point sideways. 2 more with this leg. And then we'll switch legs. It's the same work in the arms. Elbows bend wide, chest to the floor, or almost to the floor. Right down between the thumbs. 2 more. Okay, take that knee down and walk the hands right underneath your shoulders. Okay, so working the triceps, which means the elbows are going to point backward. We're going to bend the arms and dive your torso forward and then push up. Good, so moving the torso forward as you bend the arms, squeeze your elbows into your ribs, and then the torso will move back as we straighten. So that forward action is going to load up our triceps even more. Squeeze your elbows into your ribs. Grip your fingertips into the floor. So the more you can use your fingers and hands, it'll take some pressure out of the wrists. 1 more here. Okay, we're going to do our camel push-ups. So the elbows are going to still point back. But now we're gonna try and keep our shoulders directly over the wrists or even over the knuckles. So we're gonna bend the arms, we're coming straight down, and maybe you can tap your elbows to the floor, or it's more of a thunk, and then push back up. Our bodies will want to go backward in order to bring the elbows down, but I want you to stay forward over the hands as you bend and press. So that's gonna be more challenging. So we're bending the elbows all the way to the floor if you can, and then pushing up. The more forward you can keep your torso, the more challenging that's gonna be in the arms. Just 2 more. And last one. All right, let's tuck the toes, lift your hips way up, find a downward dog-like stretch, or you can take any other stretch that feels good to you. A little wiggle if you like. Okay, let's come on up to standing. We'll take our arms into a low V, feet underneath the hips. And again, feel the tripod of the feet. All right, we're gonna rotate the arms. Just rotating the wrists, forearms, and upper arm bones in each direction as far as you can twist one way, and then twist it as far as you can the other way. Energy through all 3 points of that tripod, big toe ball, pinky toe ball, and the heel. Little lift through the inner thighs, pelvic floor, abdominals, and out through the crown of your head. So we're feeling tall. Start to make this arm motion a little bit quicker. And we're gonna start to move the arms up. Still rotating as far as you can in each direction. We'll go just a little higher than shoulder height. How high exactly is up to you. And then we'll start to move down. Energy down through the tripods of the feet, lifting through the inner arches and up through the top of the head. Last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll shake out the arms. Okay, let's do a few more of our squats. Hands can be at your hips, or you can let the arms hang, folding at the hips and knees, and standing up. Just feeling the mechanics of that again. Equal weight into all 3 points of those tripods. Can you keep the spine long, straight, as you hinge at the hips and knees? Collarbones wide. And we're gonna squat and hold. Let's take one arm back, one arm forward, and switch. Scissor the arms. Equal weight on those tripods. Option to shift more weight into one leg, one tripod. And then more weight into the other leg, the other tripod. And then into both legs. And we'll come all the way up to standing. Stand with one foot in front of the other, heel to toe. Again, I'm going to remind us about those tripods of the feet. Lift through your pelvic floor, inner thighs, abdominals. You can keep your eyes fixed on one point, or you can move the head and eyes to look around the room, using the feet to sense the floor. You could even keep your head fixed and close your eyes. Let's switch legs, other foot in front, heel to toe. Feel the big toe ball, pinky toe ball, and the heels. You can keep your eyes fixed on one point, or you can move the head and eyes, or keep your head fixed and close your eyes. Again, using the feet to sense and feel the floor. Practice your tall posture, your abdominal engagement. And we'll release. You're all done.